Hi folks, hope you're well. Rob Salmon here, also known as the Builder Investor. Yeah, you can see that obviously we are a building company and also we invest in property. And what we thought we'd do today was we'd give you 5 steps to tell you how you could get involved in property yourselves as a beginner. Stick with us and we'll go through them 5 steps. So, step number 1, that would be, for me, all about education. You can't do anything unless you educate yourself towards how you're going to do it. So, I'm not talking about spending thousands and thousands on mentoring, although, you know, there is an argument for that, and personally, I did some of that. You can learn what you need to on YouTube. There's masses and masses of videos, there's not just mine. Get yourself on there and find out what you need to know and what you need to be doing in order to start that journey in property. Join Facebook groups. There's thousands and thousands of Facebook groups all related to property. If you just get in the search bar, search property, search things like rent to rent, search buy to let, search below market value, all of these terms you will learn by getting yourself on YouTube, getting yourself on Facebook, and just getting that head start on the education that you need in order to be able to progress in property. There's also books. Obviously, Rich Dad Poor Dad is, you know, the number one to start with, but there are hundreds of books out there relating to property, mindset, and all other kinds of things that you're going to need along the way. Me, being dyslexic personally, I prefer an audiobook. Perfectly down to you, whatever you want to do. There are thousands of books out there. Get yourself immersed in them. Obviously, education, you can learn from other people. So get yourself along to some of these network meetings. There's loads of little ones local to you, little curry nights. You know, there's little, you know, network meetings going on in local hotels, but there's also the big ones. There are free ones, the ones that are paid for. There are ones that you can just pay £1 and go in. But bear in mind, the ones that are free or the ones that are very low fee, they will try and sell you something as the way of education goes towards the end. So number 2 is you need to pick and choose where you want to be. You need to decide what success looks like to you, where you want to go in life. You can't get there unless you know where it is you're going. So you need to be clear on the objectives. You need to know what steps you need to take in order to achieve those objectives. And alongside that, you need to be aware of the inputs that you're going to have to put in order to get those objectives covered, in order to get to the position where you want to be. Whether it's going to be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you need a plan. Any setup of business, you go to a bank for a loan, whatever you want, they will always want a business plan. So what's different about getting into property? If you plan your way through it, you've got a clear path of where you want to be, and you can see whether you're deviating from that. And you can adjust, you can see if that path is not quite taking you in the right direction, you can adjust where you're going. So always have a plan. So step number 3, that would be, you've got to understand what resources you've got around you. I'm not just talking about money. Obviously, you do need money. You need, you know, all of this no money down, you can get into property for nothing. You're always going to need some money. You know, whether it's petrol money to actually drive to viewings, whether it's, you know, a bit of money for a solicitor's fee or a contract. There's no such thing as a no money down deal. Not unless you know a lot of people who do a lot of favours for you and expect nothing in return. So also, when we talk about resources, we're talking about time. You've got to take into consideration what are you doing now? What are you doing for a living? Are you you know, a full-time banker? Are you, you know, do you work in a factory? Are you unemployed? Have you got masses of time? So this is another resource that you need to assess. You need to know exactly how long you can spend on working towards being in property. And another resource that often's never talked about is you need to know what your own knowledge is at the moment. You need to think about what skill sets you've already got, what is adaptable, what can you use to get yourself a little bit higher up on that ladder of, you know, getting into property initially. Obviously mine, I've been 30 years in the construction industry, so I've been around bricks and mortar, I've been around property. I've obviously bought my own properties, you know, for me and my wife and my kids before I actually got into, you know, buy-to-lets and, you know, BRRs. So understand that, work out what you're good at and use that to your advantage. Another resource is assess the network around you. Now we know you're only just getting into it and you're not going to network meetings yet. So I don't mean network as in external people that you're going to meet in the future. I mean your friends, your family. Ask around. You'll be surprised how many of your family have got some money squirreled away somewhere and they're losing money on it because inflation's eating away at it. Understand, you may know tradesmen, you may know, you know, solicitors. Use those people and bring them into your network. Another resource that, to be honest, I've never heard anyone actually talk about it. It's drive. What is your personality? Do you think that you can stand going into property failing? Because you will fail. Everyone makes bad choices. Everyone makes mistakes. What will determine whether you will achieve or whether you will succeed is what's in here, whether you can push through any failures, any poor mindset, any, you know, down when you get a bit downtrodden. Can you get through that, you know? And another thing, in property, you've generally got to be passionate about it. You've got to enjoy it. You're on a bit of, I hate the word journey, but I've got to use the word journey. If you're on that journey and it's going to take you, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 years to get where you want to be, say you want 5 buy-to-let properties in the space of 5 years. If you're not passionate about doing that, I guarantee you will give up. I've been there, I've had bad days and I've thought, I've had enough, I'm giving up. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that pushes on and wants to achieve. I've got my goals set, I know where I want to be, and I'm pushing towards those every day. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, how long you've been in property, you will always be pushing towards a goal that you've set. So, step number 4, you need to work out exactly what your strategy or strategies are going to be. There's a lot of people that I've seen that have got into property and they go here, buy to let, they go there, rent to rent, they go here, lease option, and then they go over there, let's do assisted sale. Pick one, maybe 2, and stick with that as your strategy. If you want my advice, just go with the general, you know, buy to let, maybe a flip, or maybe a BRR, which is a buy, refurbish, refinance. This strategy as well, it also needs to tie in with what resources you've got. There's no good picking up real complex strategies that are going to need like really expensive lawyers and solicitors that are based in the corporate world that you just can't, you know, you just can't get hold of at the moment because you've not got that network around you. So choose strategies that you can achieve with the network that you've got around you. So you'll set your inputs based on what outputs you want, which is based on the resources that you've got, which can also determine what strategies that you take. Alongside setting your strategy, you need to set a target area. They call it a gold mine area. That'll be your area. If you live somewhere local and you know that that is a local good spot that's, you know, property sells well, there's a good rental market, choose your own area, choose somewhere that you're local to, that you know, that you've already got an advantage of, somewhere that you can drive to, that you haven't got to sit on a train or a car for 3.5 hours, 4 hours to get there if there's an issue. So finally, we come to step number 5, and in my opinion, and also my mentor's opinion, the guy that, you know, taught me and teaches me still, a guy named Jamie York, in his opinion, and in quite a lot of others' opinions, it's taking action. You've got to take action. The rest of the steps, 1 to number 4, they mean nothing unless you take some action. Don't be one of these guys that goes to every educational course that's like 25 quid or a quid or something like that, or free, and you see them there all the time, you know, they're there everyone, but they're not taking any action. They've probably got a mind full of property, you know, information, and they could tell you anything you wanted to know, but they've never actually taken any action and moved forward, made any money basically. So you get up in the morning, you get on Rightmove, you look for properties. You know, if you're looking for stuff that can be done up, you look for stuff that's below market value. You can post on Facebook, ask people if they're selling properties. You need to let people know what you're doing. A massive rule, and I think it says an actual rule, people call it the 3 foot rule, and that is tell anyone within 3 foot, a metre, tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you do. You know, you buy and sell properties, you help investors find properties. Whatever you're doing, tell people. If people don't know, people won't, you know, fall into your network of people and start investing in you, start passing you properties, you know, all these kinds of things that you need. So number 5, and by far the most important one, is take some bloody action. So there you go, folks. 5 steps that you need as a beginner to start your journey in property. I hope you enjoyed that and you got loads of value from it and you took some information away and it's been helpful. But if you feel you want to get into property but you're still unsure, or you know, you want some help, or you just haven't got the time, reach out. If you put the word property in the comments, I'll get in touch. We'll have a 15-minute phone call and we can discuss how we can help you. You know, if you've got some money put aside and you want to do this, get in touch. Put the word property down in the comments and I'll be in touch for you. Cheers, folks. Thanks for watching. Been amazing. Don't forget, if you can like and subscribe, it helps us out enormously. And there's a little bell in the corner. Hit that bell icon and then you will get notifications when we upload the next video. Catch you later, folks.